Hi, I'm Mr. Kachikaro.
Okay, so our first question today is, what does it take for a friendship to be truly unbreakable?
I don't know if a friendship can truly be unbreakable because you're gonna have to pause. Hi, I'm Mr. Kachikaro.
Okay, so my first question is, what does it take for a friendship to be truly unbreakable?
I don't know if a friendship can truly be unbreakable because there's so many things that could happen and everyone interprets things differently. If you're lucky enough to have a friendship that lasts that long, I think it boils down to respect, sharing similar values, and really understanding each other as best as you can so you can appreciate all the good and bad that comes with being that friend.
And is it morally acceptable for a friend to lie for the sake of saving their friendship?
Very good question. I don't know if it would be tough to lie to my best friend, but it depends on what the lie is. I think if it was something that would go against my own personal beliefs and sins, I wouldn't lie, and I would have to risk the friendship if it meant myself being unable to morally, live with what I was lying about.
So does that answer change depending on how close you are?
100%. I think if it was something, if I saw my friend's, partner doing something, I would have to lie, even though I would not be able to lie about that.
And what is the best thing about having close friends or having a close friend?
Knowing that someone is there to be able to support you and to be with you when you need it without ever having to ask for it.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Zuhair.
What grade are you?
12.
What about you?
Basim, I'm in grade 12.
So the first question is, what does it take for a friendship to be truly unbreakable?
I think for a friendship to be truly unbreakable, there should be trust and determination in the friendship. Like you should respect each other. And yeah.
What about you?
I agree with him, but I also believe that for a friendship to be unbreakable, both friends should always be there for each other, they should always care for each other, and they should always be there to support one
Like
another
loyalty.
as well.
Loyalty.
Exactly.
Is it morally acceptable for a friend to lie for the good sake to save their friendship?
I think so too, because as I mentioned before, it takes care. And when you care for your friend, you care for their safety and everything and their well-being. So yeah, I think it's
I sort of disagree with that. I believe at times that if you lie to save your friendship, and if the lie gets caught on later, it would have more of a harder impact on the person. But if from the beginning you tell them the truth, they might be able to forgive you and move on, and the friendship can continue.
What is the best thing about having close friends?
best thing about having close friends is that you can express your feelings. You can tell them stuff that you want to tell your parents, and when you're close with people, you could help improve each other, and you could build a good relationship for your success.
Yeah, having a close friend allows you to express yourself in more ways than you could with your family or some other people. Because a close friend is basically like family, but he's always there to support you and bring you.
That's right. Thank you guys for answering.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diana and I'm Immanuella's sister.
Okay, so the first question I have for you is, what does it take for a friendship to be truly unbreakable?
Unbreakable, I'd say maybe 3 things. 1, communication. I feel like you need to have really good communication with your friends. So 1, you can set boundaries, know how to respect each other, and I think that's very important. And I would say 2, definitely understanding and empathy, because everybody's going through different things. So I feel like if friendship is understanding, has empathy, you go in understanding that some people have their good days and their bad days, you're able to deal with those bad days as they come. And the last one would be forgiveness, which kind of ties back to empathy. When you learn how to forgive people, I do think it's easier to grow with them, and I feel like those are the 3 things that make it unbreakable.
Okay, next, is it morally acceptable for a friend to lie for the sake of saving their friendship?
Is it morally acceptable? I mean, morally acceptable, it's immoral to lie. So straight up, I would say, when you say morally acceptable, no, it's not morally acceptable. Do I think that for the sake of a friendship, sometimes lies could help? And I want to be specific, it has to be a smaller, there's a difference between a white lie and a really big lie. If you, let's say I lied to my friend because I'm throwing her a surprise party, is that something that's gonna break the friendship? No. Is that something that's morally acceptable? No, because it's a lie, but it was for the sake of the friendship. So I would believe that's acceptable, but obviously you have lies that can be a lot more bigger, that could have a lot more long-term impact. So I would say my final answer would be it depends on the situation. I do definitely think there's some circumstances where you're doing it for the good of your friendship and it doesn't matter, and somewhere you may think it's for the good of the friendship, and no, it's always better to be honest. So I would say it depends on the circumstance.
Okay, and last, what is the best thing about having a close friend?
What's the best thing about having a close friend? I would say maybe trust. I feel like there's some things you can't necessarily tell your family, but you feel comfortable telling your friends. So having that person you could completely be vulnerable with, tell your secrets with, and you know there is absolutely no judgment. And not to say your parents don't judge you, but they definitely hold you to a different, a higher esteem that your friends do. So just being able to kind of communicate, laugh with your friends, share secrets that you may not be able to tell your family, and you're also growing with someone who's around your age, you live life, you have your memories. So having that person who's really close to you that you can just be your most vulnerable self and have no judgment would be the best reason.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Mr. Smarge. I'm the chaplain here at the school.
Okay, so Mr. Smarge, the first question I have for you is, do you believe familial love is unconditional?
I think familial love aims to be unconditional. I would say it's because we're human beings that we really can't ever get there 100%. So I think it aims to be unconditional, but often falls short though in reality.
Okay, so with saying that familial love is unconditional, at what point do you draw boundaries with your family members?
I mean, I think someone can approach unconditional love for a family member in the sense that love is caring for the other, right? Wanting, willing, working for the good of the other. But if relationships, even in a family, become abusive or very poisonous, then I think at some point one might have to draw a boundary and say, for my health, for the health of the other person, maybe we can't spend a lot of time together. But that doesn't mean that they still can't work in some way for the good of the other, maybe even just praying for that person, helping indirectly. I think, you don't choose your family in a sense, and you are family for life. So I don't think you just completely cut someone off, but you're right, you may have to draw some healthy boundaries.
And lastly, what differentiates familial and love between friends for you?
Yeah, well, I think with a family, I think family is meant to be for life, and there's a little bit more stability and permanence, I think, to family. Family is sort of a natural unit, and whereas friends, I think, come and go a little bit more, drift in and out of your life. I would say that would be one difference that comes to mind. Family is for good kind of thing.
Okay, so in saying that, do you think you tolerate more from a family member than a friend?
Again, this is a personal answer. I think so. Yeah, I think I would probably try to be even more patient and more persevering with a family member, knowing that this relationship, especially if it's a close family member, knowing that this relationship is for life.
Okay, thank you.
What's your name?
Sorry.
Sorry, do you believe storage love is unconditional, and why?
Yes, I believe the storage love is unconditional because the love is like loving someone without asking for anything back. It's rare and often seen like parents' love for their children.
Do you believe love at first sight is real, or it's just a myth?
Love at first sight may be a strong attraction, but true love takes time to grow and understand other person.
Is yours love long-lasting, or do you think it fades as time passes?
Actually, Eros love doesn't last forever. Over time, it's changed into a deeper and calmer love.
How does Eros love develop? How do you choose romantic partners?
Eros begins with attraction and can turn into deeper love. Choosing a partner needs shared values, respect, and good communication.
Jessica. I'm in grade 12.
Is love at first sight real?
I feel like love at first sight isn't real. Like genuine love means like you like them for your personality and also like their looks, but also like who they are as a person. So I feel like you can get infatuated at first sight, as in finding someone attractive when you first see them at the start. But I feel like love develops over time based on like, who they are as a person, if you actually like them for who they are.
Is your eros love long lasting, or do you think it fades as time passes?
Wait, what is eros love?
It's like love between
Oh, I feel like it's long lasting, but it depends on how the relationship plays out. If both is reciprocated and nothing goes like, and you guys like improve with each other and grow as like as people together, then it's long lasting. But obviously, problems come and you can't fix it. It's bound to fade. For example, that's what I feel.
how does eros love do? How do you choose romantic partners?
How I choose romantic partners, and I feel like how everyone does, is probably just by like their personality and also their looks. Like looks definitely play into it, but a majority is personality and who they are as a person and how they represent themselves. If I feel like they align with my morals and like my personality and my interests, and I feel like we get along, not only just like because they're attractive, but because like we just get along, like we're just good friends, like then that's how I just choose my romantic partner.
Thanks so much.
What's your name?
Rita.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in grade 12.
Okay, so the first question is love at first sight real or is it just a myth?
It's a myth. I feel like you could have lust at first sight, like you'd be attracted and like, you know, want to do something with them, but like love is a little crazy. I don't think like to be in love you have to know the person.
Okay, and is eros love like love between between your romantic partner? Is that long lasting or do you think it fades as time passes?
I think both. I feel like it could fade depending on like who you are as people and like how your relationship works, but like some love is meant to be forever, some love isn't. So I think it just depends.
Okay, and lastly, how does eros love develop, or like what do you look for when you're choosing a romantic partner?
I don't know. I think it depends. I think it's different for everyone. I guess for me, like I'm looking for someone, I don't know, that's like nice and like, you know, that's good for me. Funny, I guess. Tall. Hit me up.
Tall.
Hey.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's all.
What's your name? My name is Sam. Is God truly the only person who can give us unconditional love? Yes, I believe God is the only one who can truly love us unconditionally. And while we can try to love without conditions, God's love is perfect and never fails. Do unfortunate events in your life makes you question God's unconditional love for you? Sometimes. Like when tough things happen, it's easy to start questioning if God really loves me. But I've learned that God's love isn't based on what happening in my life. In constant, even when things feel unfair or hard. The third question, is agape love a choice? Yes, agape love is often seen as a choice, selfless, unconditional love that isn't based on feelings or events, but rather a decision to care for others, even when it's difficult or when it's not. In tough times? Yes.
Hi there, my name is Adriano Bombin. I'm the principal at St. Joan of Arc Catholic Secondary School. I'm here to answer some questions about unconditional love.
Okay, so Mr. Bowman, the first question I have for you is God truly the only person who can give us unconditional love?
Outside of, well, I'd say for the most part that would be accurate, except for the unconditional love that a parent has for a child. Outside of that, and I didn't really understand that until I had my own children.
And do unfortunate events in your life make you question God's unconditional love for you?
No, I think everything happens for a reason, and if something happens that's perhaps negative toward me or my family, there's perhaps a reason for it. And that's why we have to sort of rely on our faith for that.
And lastly, is God's love a choice?
No. That's God's love for
Us.
us? No. I think that's just, like I said, unconditional. It's there. He shows everything that he does for us is part of that unconditional love. And no matter, and you look at the things that we do that perhaps would warrant him not loving us, and he still does, and he still sacrificed his son for us and did everything for us to live a fulfilled life. And again, through our faith, we're able to do that.
Thank you. What's your name?
Annabelle.
And what grade are you in?
Grade 12.
The first question I have for you is God truly the only person who can give us unconditional love?
I think the answer to that question is yes. This is because God's love doesn't have any boundaries. He's gonna love you as long as you believe in Him and you follow the commandments and stuff that He sets out in the Bible.
Okay, the second question is, do unfortunate events in your life make you question God's unconditional love for you?
Sometimes, but then I have to just remember that everything God does is for a reason, and even though I might not understand it now, I might come to understand it later, and I know that He's always gonna love me no matter what.
So the third question is agape love a choice? So is God's love a choice for us?
I don't think so. I think God loves everybody unconditionally, no matter what. It's just depending on whether you want to accept that love and believe in Him and believe that He loves you.
So you don't think there's anything we can do that God's gonna stop with?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
What is your favorite quote about love from the Bible? What does this verse mean to you? My favorite verse from the Bible is Isaiah 41:13. While this verse may not directly show love, but for me, it's rooted in God's love. The verse is, "For I am the Lord your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I'll guide you." It reminds me that God's love isn't just comforting, but active. He is with me, holding my hand, and helping me through challenges. It makes me feel protected, like a child being held by a loving parent. This verse shows me that God's love is personal and steady.
The first question is, what is your favorite Bible verse about love and what does it mean to you? And my favorite Bible verse is probably 1 John chapter 4 verse 19, and it says we love because He loved first, or because God loved first. And I think it's important because you can't truly know what love is without somebody showing you love first. And I feel like God's love is the most basic and important type of love. So God's love teaches us how to love ourselves and others. So that's why that's my favorite verse.
The second question is, what do you think Jesus meant when we first told us to love God and then to love our neighbors? How can we increase our love for others? Is it possible to truly love our neighbor if we do not love God? I think Jesus taught us to love God first because He is the source of all love. When we love God, He fills our hearts with ability to love others. Loving our neighbor is an extension of God's love, working through us. To increase my love for others, I try to put myself in their shoes, forgive quickly, and remind myself that every person is a child of God. Small acts of kindness and patience helps me grow in love too. I don't think it's fully possible to love our neighbors if we do not love God. Without God, love can feel limited or even selfish. But when we love God, He teaches us how to love others genuinely and unconditionally, even when it's hard.
I believe that God tells us to love God before we love others because God is love and God teaches us how to love others. So to love others, you have to love God first. And I also think that to love other people or to build better relationships, you need to stop judging people. Although you become the people you surround yourself with, and you don't want to surround yourself with certain types of people, that doesn't mean you have to judge them off the bat. And I think you can't love others truly unless you love God first.
The third question, how can prayer increase love? For me, prayer is like recharging my soul with God's love. When I pray, I feel closer to Him, and that connection helps me be more patient and kind and understanding. Prayer helps me let go of anger or resentment by talking to God about my struggles and asking Him for guidance. I find peace and strength to love others better.
The next question is, how can prayer increase love? And I think prayer strengthens bonds, every type of relationship, whether that's your relationship with your family, with your friends, with your significant other, or with God. And when you strengthen your relationship with God, you're able to love God more and you're able to receive more of God's love. And once again, God's love teaches you how to love other people. So I think prayer does increase your ability to love.
So the fourth and last question is, why is love greater than faith and hope? I believe love is greater than faith and hope because love is eternal. Faith and hope help us trust and believe in God's promises, but love is the action that brings them to life. Without love, faith and hope feels empty. Love is what unites us with God and others. Love reflects God's very own nature, and it's the one thing that will carry on forever, even in heaven.
Lastly, I think love is greater than faith and hope because I think people's faith can be broken pretty easily, as much as we don't like to accept that. Like, very little things can break your faith a lot, and I don't think there's a lot of things that could stop. You might stop loving God, but God will never stop loving you. So I feel like love is stronger than faith and hope because there are quite a lot of things that could possibly break your faith and or your hope, but not a lot of things can break, nothing can break God's love for us. So yeah.